Okay, so we're gonna go through 6, 11, and 12. You guys, at this point, we're only going through two tangent graph, or one tangent graph. Is there any other tangent ones you guys want? 1 through 5? No. Any of those? Okay.
Weren't a lot of them cotangent?
Yeah, I meant tangent cotangent.
Yeah,
except for the first one.
That one last tangent.
All right.
That's what you did. Yeah.
All right.
I didn't ask if you brought it in. She didn't ask for you to bring it in.
All right. Oh, guys for 6 again?
Erica did.
Erica. And you know 6, Erica, we changed that one, right?
Yes. I still did not have.
No, that's okay. I should have made sure.
What is it? And when he says, no, they go around that, just like we do without it. Put it behind. Yeah, you should. And then, no, I want to hear it. Fine. I'm going to try the pencil. No, we can't do it. You guys have to do it.
I'm not a fan of pencil top racers. It's the other yeah, I was kind of thinking that would be Alright guys, so alright, so let's talk about number 6. Hopefully you guys were listening when we said, guys, to change number 6 to pi over 4 instead. The pi over 6 would have been pretty awful in terms of the scale they used. So hopefully you heard us say that before you guys left. Alright, so we wanted that to be pi over 4, but there's still a question on it. So, remembering, so cotangent, first of all, I know that's going to go downhill, so maybe just making yourself a little note of that as soon as you see that. And then there's no amplitude, or the amplitude is 1, and the period is just normal, so it's going to be pi. So the period is pi. But this one needs to shift. It's going to go to the right, pi over 4. And then down 1. So hopefully you guys are okay with that part of it. Now, normally cotangent has an asymptote at 0. So cotangent's normal asymptotes are at 0, pi, 2 pi, like all the whole values. So what I need to do is I need to take and move that asymptote over. So there's going to be an asymptote at, and now at pi over 4.
Oh yeah, let's go.
There was normally 1 at pi, so it's going to move over 1. There's normally 1 at 2 pi, we move over 1 if you want to put 1 there. Now, tangent also, or sorry, cotangent goes downhill, so like between these it goes downhill, but it's got to be shifted down 1. So what we have to do is normally it crosses in the middle here at 0,
Just go down 1.
and so we just shift down 1. And so I just try to draw that then going through the middle down from when it normally would be. Okay?
Awesome.
And I was translating all mine the wrong left or right direction when I was doing these, so I had to redo a couple of them. Oh, actually, I redid one of them, and then number 3 didn't matter if you moved it left or right at all, because it was the same period. And oh, guys, double checking when you're done. Checking that your graph is the right period length, so it goes from pi over 4 to 5 pi over 4. That's a whole pi between there. So just understanding that you have the right length for your period. Now, 11 and 12, I just threw them on here because I thought it would be good for us to still like review some of those graphs that we've talked about recently, so you don't forget how to do those. Now, these are both secant graphs, which means they both go with cosine. So I'm essentially going to graph cosine first, and then graph the secant. So now the way we can write this in another way is cosine of 1/3 theta minus 1, if that helps you to understand what's going on here. So this is our b value, and don't forget that cosine is the period is 2 pi rather than pi, like tangent and cotangent. So the period actually is going to be 6 pi in this case. And then it's also shifting down 1. So if our period is 6 pi, now remember cosine looks like this. And so cosine starts up at 1 typically and ends at 1, and then in the middle would go down to -1. But we need to shift that down 1. So I have to put a point, or like for my cosine here. So I have to shift this down 1, down 1, down 1, and then in between here. So my cosine graph looks something like this. Yeah, and so I mean, I was using whiteout all over the place on this assignment, so, or not whiteout, I was just like, I use my glue stick a lot. I had to glue stuff back on there.
That'll happen.
So, then once I have that, then I need to draw my secant curves, which are at the vertex, or like the maximum and minimum points. Alright, and then our next one here, again, we're graphing the cosine. Anytime you have to move it this much, I think these are really tough when you have to move it over like almost longer than you can see the graph. I think those are tough. So we're moving it right 3 pi over 2, which in this case, no, left, sorry. See, I mix those up all the time. Left 3 pi over 2. And then down 2. Now 3 pi over 2 in this case, on this graph, is 6 spaces. So I'm basically moving it left 6 spaces and then down 2. Now my normal cosine graph has a 2 pi as my period. So normally it would look like, so I kind of just did quick little dots there. But I need to move it left 3 pi over 2 and down 2. So, draw those. So, like starting over here won't even be helpful because I can't get that far. 3 pi over 2 and then down 2. 3 pi over 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 2. I know it's 6 because that's how many spaces it took. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 2. And so hopefully you're getting there. Too far over. Yeah. So then we have, so our graph looks something like this. And then again, we have to draw our u's.
I'm in still. I know I'm going in still.
Okay? Question?
Why are you so hard?
Okay, so in talking, or like listening to you guys talk yesterday and talking with my students who have made choice today, it sounds like tangent's been a little bit more of a struggle to kind of wrap our mind around. So we're going to do a little bit more practice with tangent today and then learn a small bit of new information. So I'm going to try to slow us down a little bit. So I don't have like huge goals for today. I have just a smaller lesson that we can kind of back off a little bit.
You're awesome, Mrs. Johnson. You're awesome.
What?
You're about that life.
Okay guys, so what we're doing is we're doing a very long warm-up, which maybe could be more like a beginning activity here. Where you guys I have 4 tangent graphs or cotangent graphs to start off with, and I'm going to have you guys work through those as kind of like our sort of warm-up. It's only called a warm-up because we've learned this before, so I shouldn't have to explain it to you. However, at the same time, feel free to work with those around you if you guys would like on these 4. We'll talk about the backside together in a little while. I'll give you guys some time to work on this. So these first 4 are what? Do a mini lesson.
These are tan.
Your tangent and cotangent.
Come on.
Come on,
We just did that.
I missed my what a woman. And you wonder.
I wonder why you went through it in myself.
I saw that second back. I'm like, wait a minute.
So guys, all right. So I'm giving you guys some time to work on these like quote warm-up questions. However,